Welcome to the 2023 School District of Fort Atkinson Board of Education Candidates Forum. Our forum will include commentary and responses to pre-selected questions from 3 candidates who are running for 2 at-large seats on the school board. Voters will find the names of these candidates on the general election ballot April 4th. Candidates are elected to 3-year terms. Our candidates include 2 incumbents, Corey Nickram, Amy Reynolds, and 1 challenger, Matt Loop. During our forum, each candidate will be given 2 minutes to make opening statements and 2 minutes to answer each of several questions. Candidates will be allowed 2 minutes for final thoughts. Our forum is sponsored by Heart of the City, the American Association of University Women, and the FortAtkinsonOnline.com. Our questions were selected by our journalists at the FortAtkinsonOnline.com. I'm Michael Klisch. I'll be serving as moderator for this event. Joining me now is incumbent Corey Nickram. Hello, Corey.
Hello there.
Would you like to give your opening statement?
I would. First of all, I'd like to thank the Fort Atkinson online crew and the UW Whitewater TV crew for their production of this candidate forum. These forums have become so important to the public to better understand the candidates and their viewpoints, so thank you for your time. As I sit here today, I'm excited about the students of Fort Atkinson. So much good work is being done at every building. We have excellent certified educators giving these students the best education we can provide. I truly believe it. Day in and day out, I'm proud of the work being done. In front of us, we have a clear fork in the road. We have a referendum that I'm sure we'll discuss later that a community needs to decide on. Many people want to know about me, the candidate, and I'm hopeful I can share a bit of light on who I am and some of my viewpoints. But much more about this forum will rightfully so be about the students and educators doing the hard work to make this district great. As far as who I am, I'm married to my wife, Kelly, and 2 children, Mason, who is 9, and Olivia, who is 13. I have lived and worked in Fort Atkinson for over 16 years. I am a person who truly believes in volunteering in the community to make it a better place.
Thank you, Corey.
You bet.
Operational referendums, both recurring and non-recurring, have become important tools in funding operational expenses. Is this, in your opinion, a sustainable option?
I mean, it's difficult from the state, right? We've gotten no additional funds from the state last year, and right now we're looking at a $3 million reoccurring and a $5 million non-reoccurring. So, in its current state, it is absolutely not.
It's been widely reported the state has a $7.1 billion surplus at its disposal heading into the next 2-year budget cycle. Yeah. Do you think these funds should be used to support services at the local level?
Yeah, I mean, public education is critical to every municipality, every city. We have a significant surplus at the state level, obviously, and it's important that the public schools get their chunk of that. Like I said before, we did not get any additional funds last year, and you know, it's time that we get some funds from the $7.1 billion surplus that we have at the state level. But it's a tricky thing. There's there's obviously politics involved and many things involved in what's going on here. But at the end of the day, the students and the kids of the state of Wisconsin deserve a little bit of a fair shake.
As all employers are struggling to fill positions, what is your plan to ensure that the district can attract and retain the necessary faculty and staff?
Yeah, so this is one that hits near and dear to my heart, right? So I think we've done a really nice job of retaining and attracting staff. We just put together a strategic plan in the summer of 2021 that looked at some of those things. But retaining staff is important. Even we had some vacancies last year at almost the beginning of the school year that didn't get filled, but we were able to fill them last minute. But look, our teachers are really, really talented. They're really talented. They give 100% all the time. I'm hoping that the compensation models that we've put forward and the compensation adjustments, I know they're simply not enough. But we provide a great teaching environment, great benefits, and I'm proud of those. The benefits alone, I talked to other teachers, and they're impressed with the level of benefits that we provide, and we provide a really good work environment for them, and I think we do a good job of doing that.
Statistics indicate a decline in Wisconsin's birth rate. Mm-hmm. The district has, in recent years, seen a decline in enrollment. How does this affect the district's plans, and what can board members do to help facilitate successful outcomes alongside the declining enrollment?
Yeah, so declining enrollment's been something that across the state of Wisconsin public schools have been dealing with for a couple of years now. Declining enrollment is one of those things, and obviously we have different competition that maybe we didn't have 10, 15, or 20 years ago. But we need to be the place of destination for students within this area. That absolutely needs to happen, and it starts with the education that we provide. I believe that we provide a high level of education. It's our job to make sure that everybody knows about it, and we continue. The state report card is important for us, right? During summer of '21, we had. We put together a strategy to making sure that we're doing those things, but at the end of the day, open enrollment's important to us. We want to make sure that we've closed the boundaries on the city of Fort Atkinson, so we don't have students leaving for different education options, and also we want to be the place of destination for people outside of the area seeking a high quality education that I firmly believe that we'd give.
What's your opinion about building a new middle school?
Yeah, I think I'd love to sit here and tell you that, hey, we absolutely want to build a middle school. It's going to happen in 5 years. But I think time will tell on that. I think as a district, we've backed off that a bit. We want to see how all these things play out. There's a lot of variables going on here. So the middle school sounds great. Do I believe it needs to happen? Absolutely, but it needs to be at the right time and the right place. And I'm not sure we're there yet.
The district has set a goal of bringing all schools to an academic accountability rating of significantly exceeds expectations.
Yeah.
On the state report card by the 2025-26 school year, what, in your opinion, needs to happen in order to achieve that goal?
A lot of things, right? I know that the teachers are working hard, the administrative team is working hard, but we need to continually be innovative how we're delivering education to the students. So many things, even just getting the kids ready to learn at the beginning of the day has been a struggle post-pandemic, right? We're talking some of the social emotional needs and things like that perhaps maybe weren't there at the levels that it was pre-pandemic. So getting the kids ready to learn and in the seats has been something that's been a bit of a challenge, but it's important that we're all chipping in here. I believe that we'll get there, but the public education is drastically different than what it was just a number of years ago, and we got to adapt and change to the climate that we're sitting in currently.
So many students, parents, stakeholders are associated with schools.
Yeah.
What can you do to develop strong bonds of communication?
Well, just a couple of years ago, we hired a director of communications, and that was our first step, really, to ensuring that our communication to parents, to families, was there. We've done a really nice job of that. That's not going to change. I believe we're communicating with the students and staff and families at a higher level than we ever have before. I believe that as a parent, I get a number of emails and text messages, and we're doing a really nice job of communicating. It's important that we tell our story, right? Our story is important. We have a really great education that we provide the students of Fort Atkinson. It's our job to make sure that everybody knows about that and they're communicating about that. And we're not perfect, right? There's some shortcomings that we have a district that we're certainly working on. But hey, that's we'll continue to communicate, do those things that we need to be doing as a district, and I believe good things will happen for us.
What three things about the district are you the most proud?
Really good question.
Only three.
Only three? Okay. Number one, I am proud of the way that we have been able to innovate over the last 3 years. My time on the district, I've seen a lot of change in how the public education is being delivered. But I'm proud of the way, for example, my daughter is in a STEM class, and the way we've been able to change that over the last year and be innovative on some of these class levels has been really magnificent to see. She comes home and tells me about it almost daily, of the way that she's been able to adapt, and that was a new course offering this year. Secondly is I think we've been doing a nice job of attracting and retaining our staff. Obviously, a lot of it starts with them, right? If we're doing a good job of that and we're doing a high level of education, good things will happen for us. And I believe we have a really good administrative staff. Everybody's in it for the right reasons. We're talking the same lingo. Everybody knows the direction the district is going, and I think that's so vitally important. I've been in organizations, I've heard about organizations that they're not all talking the same thing. Everybody within the district knows exactly where we're going and how we're going to get there.
Corey, name 3 things that you believe the district should improve.
Yeah, so this is something that I believe that we've been very transparent with. During multiple school board meetings and every chance we get, we're letting people know where we're going and how we're going to get there. But first one is an increase in enrollment. Like mentioned previously, around the state of Wisconsin, public school enrollment's been down. We need to figure out a way to ensure that we're continuing to be the choice of education destination for students in our area. That would be number one. Number two is continuing to work on a goal of significantly exceeds expectations on our state report card. Whatever people think about it, it doesn't matter. It's a metric set aside that you can compare school to school, district to district, and when people are moving and when people are deciding whether they want to live, work, and play in Fort Atkinson, the state report card is often something that gets looked at. So that is certainly something that we can work and strive towards. There's a clear plan set in place, a 5-year strategic plan set in place that discusses that and how we're going to get there. The last thing is find really good certified teachers. If we have good teachers, people want to come to Fort Atkinson. We'll have results. Everything will follow behind that. So I believe we have a really good plan in place, and we know how to get there, and we'll continue to do those things.
And what message would you like to send to the general community about its role in educating the community's children?
Yeah, so it's important. Everybody lends a hand in the education of our children, right? Whether that's at soccer practice, whether that's a different sport, music, anything like that. Everybody chips in on what's going on, and we're talking about something like the referendum coming up. That's one way, right? We have a $6.8 million deficit that's sitting in front of us here, and that's one way to speak to the level of confidence that we have in the children of Fort Atkinson. We're talking, the equivalent of 70 full-time positions that we're going to have to look to figure out what to do with if that doesn't pass. So in my eyes right now, financially is really important right now.
And closing statement?
Yeah, closing statement. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak about my thoughts as a candidate for the Fort Atkinson School Board. I'm passionate about this community and just as passionate about the schools within it. During my last 3 years as school board, I have been focused on learning about the district and feel I can be an even better school board member given my understanding of the district and how I can serve better. I absolutely know that we will continually need to improve and adapt to the environment around us. I'm equipped to help lead the future of the Fort Atkinson Public Schools. During my time, we have worked hard to stay financially prudent. That is simply not going to change. We'll always work hard with the tax dollars we are provided. Above my candidacy for the school board is working towards the successful passage of the referendum to avoid a significant deficit. I'm confident and optimistic that the voters will see the need for this referendum on April 4th. We have a lot at risk. I appreciate your time and listening. I'm excited about the potential to serve for another 3 years in the Fort Atkinson School Board.
And that concludes our time with Corey Nickram. And Corey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much
for being part of this forum.
Absolutely.
Joining us now is School Board incumbent Amy Reynolds. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Would you like to give your opening statement?
Sure. I'm running for school board again. I had a very interesting 3 years, and it was very enjoyable. And I do want to continue to do some really, really great work with the district, and hopefully the community will allow me to do that.
Operational referendums have become, and that's both recurring and non-recurring, have become important tools in funding operational expenses. Is this, in your opinion, a sustainable option?
Unfortunately, it has to be. It does. The state does not allocate enough funds, and so with that, we do have to ask the community to help.
You may have heard about it, but it's been widely reported there's a $7.1 billion surplus with the state. And as we head into the next budget cycle, do you think those funds should be used to support services at the local level?
Well, yes.
Dumb question, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Sorry.
Absolutely, because this is, you know, our state is ran and is founded on all of us local people. And we need funds to continue to do the programming and to help out our communities so that way we can all grow together. So we need that funding. It would be nice to have.
As employers, all types of employers are struggling to fill positions. What's your plan to ensure that the district can attract and retain faculty and staff?
Well, that's kind of that's a very broad question, because there's a lot of things that go into play with that. We are doing a lot of different things in the district right now to help gain those really great staff and to keep them as well. So there's a lot of different plans in place to be able to do that, but there's a lot of also moving parts around that as well. So, you know, I personally can't have a plan. You have to have a working thought process to be able to get to the end game.
Statistics are indicating there's a decline in Wisconsin's birth rates. The district has, in recent years, seen a decline in enrollment. How does this affect the district's plans, and what can board members do to help facilitate successful outcomes alongside declining enrollment?
Well, we can support our staff. We can help where we can help them figure out what areas we can move people to help control different things there. We can also talk to the community as well to find out what what they have for thoughts, and and then bring those to the table as well.
What's your opinion about building a new middle school?
It's needed. The old middle school, I mean, we had to close the pool. What next sections of that building are we going to have to close? And with technology, the way it's growing and the way learning is changing, we need space to be able to do that. And with a new middle school, we're hoping to get the community involved, so it won't just be for the middle school for the students and the staff. It'll be for our community, because our community needs a space as well.
The district has set a goal of bringing all schools to an academic accountability rating of, quote, significantly exceeds expectations, unquote. That'll be on the state report card by the 2025-26 school year. What, in your opinion, needs to happen for the district to achieve that goal?
Continue doing what we're doing. Because you can see in our report cards, our elementary schools are starting to gain higher reports, and our students are starting to learn in different ways, so that way they're going to be successful in the future.
With so many students and stakeholders associated with schools, what can you do to help develop a strong bond of communication?
Listen. I mean, you listen to the community, you listen to your students, you listen to the teachers. I listen to my kids when they come home from school. They ask me questions. I give them what I know. If I don't know the answer, I know who to get the answer from. So it's definitely, you have to listen. You have to listen to anybody.
What 3 things about the district are you the most proud?
Oh man, you're limiting me to 3?
3, no more.
Okay, all right, fine.
We'll cut you off.
All right. For one, I have to say our students. We have amazing students. They are doing such amazing work, and it just, it brings me so much joy just to see some of the things that they're accomplishing. And then to our staff, our teachers. We have some amazing teachers that throughout these past years have stepped up and changed the game on certain things and have brought these kids to different levels, which is absolutely fantastic. And then we have a great community behind our students and our staff. We really do. Our scholarships alone, it's amazing to see how much that this community does support our students, but not just while they're here, in the future as well.
Now, name 3 things you think the district should improve. And you got to name 3.
All right, fine. 3 things that we need to improve. Well, we do need to improve our report cards, and that's one thing that we're working on. We do need to improve our parking. And all of the schools, it needs to improve, but that is also in the works. And now I have to think of a 3rd one.
I was only kidding. You don't have to come up with 3.
Well, that's good, because I don't want to.
What message would you like to send to the broader general community about the role it should play in educating our community's children?
We all have to support each other. If we don't support our schools, then our students are not going to be able to excel, because these are the students that are going to be taking care of us, right? They're going to be taking care of us. So we need to support them now, and the community needs to be involved to be able to support our students and our staff, so that way our students can then support us.
Why did you decide to run for re-election?
As crazy as these last 3 years have been, I have actually enjoyed it. I have. I like learning about all of the different nuances that go into running a successful district. I like all of the different people that are associated with the staff and with the students and the whole district. It's been a really amazing learning experience that I want to continue to go on.
Would you like to give your closing statement?
Well, I would love to be able to have the opportunity to serve for at least another 3 years. My kids are so happy that I have been on the board. They've asked a ton of questions. They've also started to think about things in a little bit different way because, you know, kids are needing to grow and to learn, and me being on the board has helped me grow as well. So I would like to stay on.
And that concludes our time with incumbent candidate Amy Reynolds. Amy, thank you for participating in our forum.
Well, thank you for having us.
Joining us now, challenger Matt Loop. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Michael.
Would you like to give your opening statement?
Sure. I don't have prepared remarks, but as Michael said, my name is Matt Loop. I'm a candidate for Fort Atkinson School Board. If I'm elected, I hope to be an advocate for all of Fort Atkinson's public school students. That means that I would love to engage with teachers, staff, administration to help craft policies and programs, curricula that benefit students of all backgrounds, interests, abilities, as well as engaging with community members to ensure that our schools have reliable and sustainable support. And again, I hope everybody comes and votes on April 4th.
Thank you, Matt. Operational referendums, recurring and non-recurring, have become important tools in funding operational expenses. Is this, in your opinion, a sustainable option?
Well, I think that it's not an optimal option, but it is necessary. Since 2011, I think we've had successful referendums for the school district, and it has helped sustain the funding that used to be there. I know that prior to 2011, Wisconsin funded its schools. I think we were 11th in the nation, and now we've dropped down to 25th, maybe a little bit lower than that. State aid in real inflation adjusted dollars has decreased, and that money, in order to maintain our programs, has to be made up by localities, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness that the district has taken in crafting their budget. They're good stewards of taxpayer money, and I'm thankful to the voters who have continued to support our schools.
Heading into the next two-year budget cycle, the state has a $7.1 billion surplus. Do you think those funds should be used to support services at the local level?
I think that local governments are strapped for money, and everybody is feeling the pinch these days. I think that the in excess of $7 billion surplus could be used for localities. The probability of that, I'm not sure. I think that we need to hope for some increase in state aid, but we can't plan for it. So I think that you know, I can't speak to the city government, but I know that the school district has plans for most contingencies.
With employers, practically all employers, struggling to fill positions, what is your plan to ensure that the district can attract and retain faculty and staff?
Well, I think that the district, the administration, and the teachers have a good relationship. I think that they trust each other and they negotiate in good faith. I think that the teachers and their union certainly have a good say. I know that there have been some contentious issues because, like you said, everybody is a little strapped for money. I think that it is important that we pay our teachers a reasonable wage and with good benefits. My father-in-law, actually my mother was a teacher, and both my mother-in-law and father-in-law were retired teachers. And so they didn't go into it for the money, but they did have a benefit package that was attractive, and that certainly helps. So I think that certainly, like I said, teachers don't go into the profession to become rich, but I think that we should value what they do for our students.
Statistics seem to indicate a decline in Wisconsin's birth rate. The district in recent years has seen a decline in enrollment. How does this affect the district's plans, and what can the board do to help facilitate successful outcomes with declining enrollment?
Well, I know that the district has already implemented some policies for attrition of staff and educators based on class size, and I know that, like you said, birth rate declining is not just a Fort Atkinson issue; it's a nationwide thing. I know that our open enrollment numbers, that is the number of students who come in from other districts versus the number of students that leave our district to go to another school, we're still in positive territory there because we have a great school system. I think that strong programs will continue to attract open enrollees, and I think that we can right size our staff. I don't mean to be, say, cutting people, but like I said, the district has worked to find places where maybe a position doesn't need to be filled due to the declining class size.
What's your opinion on a new middle school?
I think that a new middle school will be necessary in the future. I enjoyed the tours that the district had of the middle school last year. I was impressed with how staff has worked with a building, a very old building, to make it work for the district. And I'm not comparing a school building to a car, but everything has a certain lifespan. And I'm not going to be able to do the math right now. One of the people that was on the tour with me talked about how when they went to school, it was a one-room schoolhouse. And I thought, wow, that doesn't seem very long ago. But it was less time between the time they were in a one-room schoolhouse and they built the high school that became the middle school. And today, when it's been a high school and a middle school, perhaps it's time to, save up for that new car, save up for that new school.
The district has set a goal of bringing all schools to an academic accountability rating of, quote, significantly exceeds expectations, unquote. That's on the state report card by the 2025-26 school year. Mm-hmm. What, in your opinion, needs to happen to achieve that goal?
Well, let me first say that I appreciate the DPI's report cards. They offer a good snapshot of a school's performance or a district's performance. They're not the entire story. I think that the schools that I've toured, from the elementary to the high school, and seeing how they're developing a curricula that will continue from elementary to high school. Our high school, in particular, had a lower DPI report card than it has in past years. However, our elementary schools are really doing quite well, and I think that we are set for good performance, and it significantly exceeds expectations, by the way, is the highest possible rating that a school can get. There are very few districts that have every school significantly exceed expectations. It's a fantastic goal, and I think that we could do it. And I think that the district has in place good plans for cross-school coordination to achieve that.
With so many students, parents, and stakeholders associated with schools, what can you do to help develop strong bonds of communication?
That is always a concern, is to make sure that the community remembers what the school district is doing for the community, and also what the community can do for the school district. There are some positions in the district that are specifically for communications. I think it is also incumbent upon school board members to engage with the community, not just at meetings, but to actively solicit opinion and reflect that in meetings. I think that it's important for the school board members to also engage with the administration, the staff, teachers, to find out what the needs of the school are, and we can communicate those to the public as well.
What three things about the district are you the most proud?
Three? That's a pretty short list. It's hard to say. I think that there is an enthusiasm across every school in the staff, in the educators, in the administration again, for student success. I also think that enthusiasm spills over into the community, and the community's support of the schools is evident. When my wife and I moved here, before we even had a child, one of the things that really struck us was the pride that the community takes in its schools. I think that there is good cross-communication, cross-pollination between them. I am also, it never fails to impress me what good citizens this school district is I don't want to say producing, what good citizens this school district has. I've been lucky to do chaperone on various trips. The last one, the high school band performed at the state capitol, which was quite an honor. And I think 4 or 5 people who were working at the capitol told the chaperones, I've never met such a well-behaved, polite group of students as I did from Fort Atkinson, and it really shows. I think that we have a good culture here.
Why'd you decide to run?
Well, as you know, I was sitting across from you last year too, and while I was disappointed that I was not elected to the school board, I had a blast. I really enjoyed meeting people in the district and learning more about our district. You said name 3 things that impress you about the district, and I could name you 3 things that I was impressed by every time I visited a school. It was an incredible learning experience, and it really made me want to continue to advocate for public schools.
That concludes our time with Matt. Would you like to give a closing statement?
Certainly, thank you. When I was in the green room, as they call it here, before coming up to talk with Michael, I was chatting with one of the other candidates, and we were discussing how school boards and city councils are really the most direct form of democracy that we have. the people that run for school board and run for city council aren't politicians, they're your neighbors. I hope they're your friends, and you see them at all the sort of community events, maybe the General's game or a band concert, probably at the grocery store. So, like I said, they're not politicians, and I think they're really invested in the community. And that is important and is valuable to our democracy, that, like I said, they're not just accountable, they're invested. And I think that the schools, in the same way, are invested in our community, and I hope the community is invested in our schools. The schools prepare our children for not just self-improvement, I think, but for civic engagement. Children of all backgrounds and abilities can come together to learn. And I think that when you invest in public schools, when you support public schools in any way, you really are supporting our children. And when you support our children, you are supporting the future of that vibrant local and even national democracy. So I guess that brings me back to April 4th. So please exercise your right to vote on April 4th, and I hope to earn your support. Thank you.
Matt, thank you very much for participating in our forum. Matt Loop.
Thank you.
This is Michael Klisch. And that concludes our 2023 School District of Fort Atkinson Board of Education Candidates Forum. We hope you found your time with us and your candidates interesting and informative. We want to thank our sponsors, Heart of the City, the American Association of University Women, and FortAtkinsonOnline.com. I'm Michael Klisch. Thank you for watching.